Yo, yo, how we doing? Running very behind today. I had far too much to do this evening. Started off with staying a bit late and then getting the computer and trying to get my review stuff in before I hopped on. So just running late. That's all it is. Burned through a few trades. Not a whole lot. There's a lot moving. So kind of a lot on watch, but not a whole lot of actionable ideas for me tomorrow. I'll start off here with DXYZ. I had put some on this failed follow through. We got this little double top, lower high, fails below here in the 36s. Flushed, looked good, but came right back, so I had moved on. Everybody is bearish on this thing. Everyone wants to see it roll over. I am one of them, where I'm thinking this bounce, higher the better for a rollover. But if everybody's on the same side looking for the same thing, then it doesn't always come on the timetable. LABD, I had tried. I had put some on there through low a day, but that wasn't the main one. It was LABU. Let it pull off the open. Broke its opening range highs, so I started in. Bought on the pullback. Scaled when it confirmed higher low. Versus low a day. Added versus the higher low through the new high a day. Thinking this looked like fairly constructive structure. A lot different than it's done on its prior days. It looked like it was holding up fairly well. So then once it failed back through red to green, I stopped out. We got this little right side of the V type move where this was the higher low and a break of this 99. I had put some on and I'm like, my risk reward here, 99, risking down to 96. Like, what am I expecting here? So I just sold it right away, and it didn't really amount to much. Palm, ABC Deer, push, pull, higher low, and a break through the lower high. Looking to join through the high a day. And we got that swipe that immediately stuffed, so that didn't really amount to anything. That horizontal line there was the break through the 790s. Bass Hunter, what's going on? Just trying to run through this quick. I'll do it in a few minutes and then hop off, but I wanted to get it in, do my own nightly prep, and it makes me feel a bit more confident for the next day anyways. Okay, so those are the ones. DXYZ, I was looking for more relative weakness versus Tesla, and actually had a bit more relative strength. So here into this 1230 window, and if you look where Tesla is into this 1230 window, it's failing off VWAP, while DXYZ is holding dips versus VWAP. So not exactly the type of action I wanted to see for lower prices. BTCT and BTCS, we're off of that failed follow through a daily idea. BTCT through that higher low, prior bar lows breakdown. Took quite a while to happen off the open. Like, you didn't get there till about 12 p.m. When you got that big line in the sand there through 18. Confirm and fail. And then the same kind of thing, BTCS, just the quieter one, but the same trade idea. So we'll see where Bitcoin's at. DJT and BKKT had some crypto news, and there was still some attention in it that DJT wanted to buy or acquire this crypto company, this platform. So there's obviously still some attention with Bitcoin. It could be just the want of it to break that 100K. That's kind of the magnet that everybody's looking for. So now that this one's pulled back from 6 down to 3, maybe we get a big gap down and a 250 hold, and then look to bounce this back up to the 380s. So I'd like a gap down and then join that for a reversal, as long as Bitcoin and the anchor of that sector proves. Omer, I was looking for this to firm up over 660s and acted as a top, so was not interested there. TMQ pulled back right to those 110s I was looking for and held. Nice little wick here off the daily. So now I would use prior bar's lows as a risk. So see where this one opens up tomorrow. Risk versus 110s and potentially join that bigger picture trend for a rebreak. Palantir, massive flush there off the open, but it was just straight down. So I don't know how you chase something like this. This is definitely not in my wheelhouse. You definitely don't get the kind of size on something like this as if you have like a push and failed fall through or a push and stuff where you have levels that you can trust and risk off of. So I was looking for the parabolic, and then we got that pullback. Still pullback into bigger picture support, so no real plan on it for me. Do you ever flip long after a big fade off a first red day, Jack Kellogg style? If not, why not? Sometimes if it's like straight down, like for like a morning panic dip buy type thing. Usually I'm not flipping long because I'm often not nailing the low a day with covers. But if I'm short and covering along the way into weakness, if I can get like a prior bar high, like a 2-minute candle or a 5-minute candle of this thing fading, 20, 30, 40% straight down, I don't mind that for a mean reversion trade. But on the first red day for those bounces, I'm expecting pops to get sold into now that that's a trend shift. So unless it's something that I can like react to, I'm not looking to catch bottoms on a first red day. I'm more interested in shorting pops. Dabbled with the first green day setup on Clask, had it long over the weekend, but sold before open when it gapped down. Yeah, that one's so tied to Bitcoin. That's a hard over the weekend play. Daily, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Get the little hammer candle, 3 days down. But not really something I would play, especially with its tie to Bitcoin. I wouldn't really look to be swinging Bitcoin names long or short, to be honest, just because you do have that gap risk. It's not just the chart play at hand. And then a bunch of percent gainers here from today. You had Cint, big overhead resistance, and it faded off hard pre-market into the open. What's up, Q? How's it going? Action was kind of lame for me. I just shorted UVS and moved on. Yeah, I didn't do too much either, and it doesn't look like I have a whole lot for tomorrow either. But yeah, Cint failed into the open, faded off, and it looks like it hung around a lot better than most people expected. Typically, these morning pops, once you survive that opening action, it just fizzles. And with it coming back into the close, definitely hanging around better than I suspected and other traders thought would have as well. UAVS in the same kind of boat. This one I think should have died, where it has a history on the daily of one and done, one and done, one and done. And then this pullback doesn't fade off, but gaps up right into prior highs. And if we're looking left into prior volume profile, you got the closing VWAP right there in the 360s, which is today's prior low. And then this $4 range was the prior daily breakout level. And then this one's intraday resistance. So if it gaps down and fades like this day, like we do have similar action here as over here, where you get that big morning move and then pause for a VWAP start to fail. But if this firms up over this 4 to 420, then I think it could get going. It held up a lot better than expected. HCWB, I was looking at this one for pops back up into prior resistance, but they put out an offering priced at $1 $1.03. They priced their registered direct offering, so I expect this to gap down and kind of ruin that opportunity. I had mentioned DJT wanting to buy BKKT. You can read the PR exactly here. Donald Trump's social media company is in advanced talks to buy Backit. a cryptocurrency trading venue owned by Intercontinental Exchange. Is the press release, and that sent this thing flying, and then it sent DJT flying, and then Fun joined in on the party as well. And this is the kind of thing where whether you believe this is bullish for these names or not, that's up for debate. But objectively, this has nothing to do with Fun, and for no reason this thing is up. So ideally, I can get a pop back up into the 6 range. If I can get a para from 5 to 6, I'd love to swing this thing back down to lows. But, remember when we're looking at this $6 breakdown here and you get this nice quiet $2 fade. So definitely worth keeping these runners on radar. Like, eventually DXYZ will look like that and you'll look back and it'll be like, oh man, I forgot about that thing. Okay. UAVS was annoying with the gap, ruined my 3rd day move. Yes, I hate breakouts that gap up like that as well. Thanks, man. Not much on watch for me tomorrow either. No trade is a trade. That's right. We'll trade in cash. Luke, how's it going? Mara looks interesting for potential reversal tomorrow. Ideally a gap down. Not for me. I don't love it. I think if I was looking to bounce the Bitcoin names, it would be something like BTCS. I don't think I'd want to trade those larger cap ones as my vehicle. Yeah, I'm looking for 580 for Fun. That sounds like fun. But yeah, there's just no reason for it to be up, so the fact that it is up is nice. So it'd just be a higher the better type of trade. I noticed you like trading names that are kind of illiquid. Yeah, they're usually, I wouldn't say illiquid. Like I need volume to trade them. Like BTCS, sure it has 4 million shares today, but on days that they bounce, like what was it G? I can't remember the tickers. G, what was the G name? I played that backside move. It was a G name. I can't remember. But anyways, usually like I'm looking at stocks that have made a move, and then looking for a setup come down. GNPX, that sounds like it. Yep, thank you. So, like you could consider GNPX illiquid because it fades down to, it has 190 million, goes down to 14 million, goes down to 7 million, goes down to 4 million. So now you could consider this illiquid, but then you get back up to 18, 20 million shares. And you can see like on this intraday chart, like volume starts to come back into these things when they start bouncing. So I'm keeping in-play names on watch while other people lose them off radar, so that my entry comes into these things and I'm selling into that chaser volume. So it's kind of a predictive long style, but it's more reactive because you have the daily structure already established from the front side of the move, if that makes sense. So usually volume does tend to dry off while names are consolidating, and then I'm looking for that secondary leg, whether it's down or up. I don't know, but like DXYZ, like I traded this one those few days up in that 20 million. BTCS, yes, the volume is fading off, but I expect if it's going to gap down and bounce, I expect the volume to be more than 4 million shares. LABU, trading that one on, 2 million shares on the day of a $100 name is $200 million traded on that. Yeah, I'm looking at trading DJT, BKKT, Fun on the more illiquid side, but that's also less crowded, less choppy. BKKT might squeeze more. To be honest, I think this thing gaps down. I think everybody sees the strong after hours and looking for more, and I'd expect it to gap down, but It's probably safer not to touch it, to be honest. SMCI, yeah. Yeah, that one had some news there after hours as well. It was Supermicro delivers direct liquid optimized NVIDIA Blackwell solutions. Whatever that means. That was in midday. And then the after hours news was Supermicro announces appointment of BDO USA as independent auditor and filing of their compliance plan with NASDAQ. So it sounds like they're giving themselves time and sort of kicking the can down the line. It's kind of like they're delaying the inevitable, it seems. Feel like fun is an obvious short, so it can have a push more than I think. I don't think it's an obvious short because I don't think a lot of people are watching it. I do think it still moves in sympathy with DJT, but I don't think it's super crowded where everybody's looking to short it. Like that's why like DJT back on this day gaps or bounces into the close because everybody is watching this name. This is the in-play name. So it does everything it can into close to shake people out and then gaps down monster so that nobody wants to chase it, and that's the quiet fader. And DXYZ did the exact same thing where it bounces back into close and then monster gap down, does everything it can to keep people out of the name. So, not that this is going to gap down, but I just think I think it'll be less crowded, and it won't have to do whatever it can to keep people out. I think it will be an easier trade. But yeah, I don't have a whole your stop loss. How do you usually off of a daily level, prior day lows, low a day, high a day. That was how Grattani taught it back in my when I first started trading. I would like buy, like I'd buy something like this. I'd buy like this high day break and then risk this candle and then get stopped out here and then watch it rip. And Grattani's style was risk as wide as you can to make the risk reward make sense. And usually that was an entry with like low a day risk or a short with high a day risk, where the daily level matters, not so much just intraday chop levels. Do you get stopped out? Like 10 times a day. I take loss almost every day. Just gotta keep them. Oh, excuse me. Keep them smaller than the winners. LOL. Das Hunter liked that one. Yeah, if you use a fib level, I mean, whatever works, have at it. But at this point, I feel like I'm just rambling, so not a whole lot on watch for me tomorrow. Nothing really A+ setting up. Might look for some of those small cap BTC names, and then look at like DJT, SMCI, Fun, all of those for higher the better because they're on the back side of their daily charts. So see if those can fail to follow through tomorrow. But that's about it. Stopping out is the easy part. Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm telling you, it's easy. I didn't realize how how much these good traders stop out all the time, but when you see people like Kyle, for example, Kyle Williams, he stops out all the time and still insanely profitable. Nate stops out all the time, still insanely profitable. So same, might be another gap or short for me again, maybe SMCI. Yep. Alrighty. Yeah, let's wrap it up there. I think that's a good spot. I don't have a whole lot of value add this evening, so no sense in just making it longer for no reason. So thank you guys for tuning in. Get in where you fit in and make some memories, and I'll see you guys in the room. Peace.